Sonic the Hedgehog in a freefall is the perfect analogy to represent the entire decade of the 2010s. With so many bad games and record low sales numbers, it was more fun to hit your head repeatedly on a pole than play a Sonic game, and it almost ended the entire Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Only for Sonic to have a miracle comeback with Sonic Mania that led to the inspiration for the Sonic movies and a bigger budget that led to the success of Sonic Frontiers. We are going to take a dive into Sonic's history to see what caused this epic collapse and what led to this miracle turnaround, and if you love Sonic, subscribe right now. The early days of Sonic with the Genesis were highly successful, which led to Sonic Adventure 1. Despite a difficult development period, it was made by 100 people in just 16 months and was regarded as a huge success with an 8.6 IGN score and selling 2 million copies. Sonic Adventure 2 was made by a team of only 11 people in 18 months and was also enjoyed a huge success with a 9.4 IGN score and selling 2 million copies, both submitting the Adventure era as Sonic's first real peak. In general, every game from Sonic Heroes to Sonic Generations were successful with about 2 million copies sold, with the exception of Sonic 2006 selling 870,000 copies due to its bugs. Starting with Sonic Free Riders, many of the voice contracts were not renewed. Roger Craig Smith did not sound exactly the same as Ryan Drummond or Jason Griffith, so even with room to grow, it still irritated many Sonic fans because they did not sound the exact same as the Sonic voice actors they were used to. Same with Tails in Sonic Colors, where his voice did not fit him perfectly. Even Shadow in Sonic Free Riders did not sound as mean or serious as he did in Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic 2006. Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 is where the cracks start to grow. Sega wanted to go back to the days that made Sonic great with 2D but in a 3D modern form. Obviously, to be the sequel of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic 4 needs to have high expectations simply because of its name. However, the low-quality game with bad physics and graphics led to lower sales numbers. In 2013, the dam finally collapsed with Sonic Lost World, which scored very low on Metacritic with a 63 because of its bad controls and level design that felt more like a Mario game. And Sonic games are supposed to be like Sonic Unleashed, where you blast through levels really fast. As you can see, Sonic Lost World only sold 710,000 copies, becoming the worst selling game up to that point. Because of Sonic Lost World's failure, Sega was starting to lose money, and Sega's financial 2013 operating income was down 67.3% when compared to 2012, so they had to hit the panic button and redesign Sonic, creating Sonic Boom. In 2014 came Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, which was full of glitches and bugs, and much like previous Sonic games was exclusive to one gaming console, this time being the Wii U. It slows Sonic down and the story is all over the place. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric sold just 490,000 copies, becoming the worst selling Sonic game of all time. Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal sold 620,000 units, and Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which sold similar numbers. Each game is selling less and less, and by 2016 Sega was on the brink of bankruptcy and there was a chance that they would stop making Sonic games. Sega needed to restructure and go back to the drawing board, so they poured their development assets into Sonic Forces, but with little money left, Sonic Forces would become a budget game that is quick and easy to beat. They also needed something to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Sonic, but did not have many resources left. At that time, Kristen Whitehead, who was a prominent member of the Sonic fan game community and had previously been contacted by Sega to work on other projects, was making his own Sonic fan-made game called Sonic Discovery. Christian Whitehead presented this early concept to Sonic series producer Takashi Iizuka, who was very interested in creating a new Sonic game that brings back Sonic to his roots with old level design from the Sega Genesis in hopes to revive the Sonic franchise. The name Sonic Mania was born, and Takashi Iizuka said the project was made by Mania for Mania and the passion project that was driven by the fans' love for early Sonic games. Sonic Mania used Kristen Whitehead's retro engine, which was heavily inspired by the Sega Genesis gameplay and physics, and Takashi Iizuka provided guidance to make sure the game would function as expected and did not have any bugs like Sonic Boom. The Sonic the Hedgehog series had been tarnished by years of subpar games, but Sonic Mania was quickly met with very favorable reviews, including an 86 on Metacritic, and became the best reviewed Sonic game since Sonic Heroes 15 years ago. Despite only selling 1 million copies, it was still a massive improvement compared to the Sonic Boom era. Sonic Mania was nominated for Best Family Game at the Game Awards 2017 and the Best Kids Game at the 2018 New York Game Awards. Interestingly enough, Sonic Forces, which was released near the same time, would actually sell more copies simply because it was a 3D game. However, the stage was set for the next big factor in Sonic's incredible comeback. There was always an interest in creating a Sonic the Hedgehog movie since the 1990s, but that idea never left the ground until 2013 when Sony acquired the rights. However, they did nothing for years, and 2 months after Sonic Mania's release, the rights were then given to Paramount, where they then started production. It is very likely that Sonic Mania's success was an inspiration to produce the first movie, especially since Sonic Mania's Friends song appears in the first movie. And right before the release, Sonic fans had the biggest meltdown in the history of Sonic due to movie Sonic's original design, which was heavily criticized by fans for its human-like appearance. Interestingly enough, Tyrone Hess, the lead animator in Sonic Mania and the director behind Sonic Mania Adventures, claims that he was the lead role in the redesign for movie Sonic. So Sonic Mania saved movie Sonic, and the design change saved the entire Sonic the Hedgehog franchise from flopping hugely at the box office. After the first movie's release in 2020, it finished with $300 million and brought in a huge chunk of new Sonic fans to the Sonic franchise. And from 2017 to 2021, Sega and the entire Sonic sales numbers started to improve drastically, and in 2021, Sonic the Hedgehog was once again Sega's highest-selling IP. And in 2022, the second movie came out to an even bigger success, earning $400 million. The second movie was a massive improvement and felt truly like a Sonic movie because it shines when it focuses on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Eggman. It is also very relevant to the games with so many references everywhere. The character designs, visuals, special effects, and story all made this movie so good and amazing. It also brought in many new Sonic fans, which all really empowered the Sonic franchise, and I single-handedly blame this movie as the main reason why I got into the Sonic franchise. With all the success up to this point, this empowered Sega to spend more money and properly develop a mainline Sonic game, which led to Sonic Frontiers. This game drastically changes everything we know about Sonic, a full open-world design where we can run around and freely explore the open world that is much more overwhelming than any other Sonic game. Runs very well with the graphics, story, and platforming. Obviously, it had flaws, but Sega decided to make 3 free DLC updates and actually listen to Sonic fans and take their suggestions, which was a whole new level of fan engagement. Moro Kishimoto, the director of Sonic Frontiers, was constantly on Twitter asking Sonic fans what they wanted in the game, and many things were eventually added. After the third and final update, the game got the finish it deserved, which led Sonic Frontiers to sell over 3.5 million copies and is widely accredited as one of the best Sonic games ever made. And as of fiscal year 2023, the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has now surpassed a cumulative total of 1.6 billion in unit sales and downloads. In conclusion, it is just amazing that the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, which was suffering loss after loss, found a way to create 2 highly successful movies and 2 of the best Sonic games. In just a 6-year period, Sonic went from a laughingstock to being back on top and has earned his respect again. I think the biggest takeaway from this is that Sonic games are very complex. You can't just create a game and rush it out there like they did with Sonic 2006 and Sonic Boom. Sega has to take their time like they did with Sonic Mania and Sonic Frontiers to make sure that the game is fully polished and free of bugs and has a good story. These 2 games should be a model that is used for all future Sonic games to ensure their success. There's a lot to look forward to, including the 3rd movie and the next mainline Sonic game. Let's just hope Sonic can continue up the success that he's currently on. That's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, you gotta go fast!